Good afternoon. Yeah, this is an exciting week. Thanksgiving, obviously, my favorite holiday of the year, and obviously we have a big game this weekend, and it's exciting to play this time of the year with everything in front of us and the magnitude of all of these games as we move forward. And so, looking forward to this challenge. We know this is a great opponent, facing a great organization and a team that I worked for 5 years. And just have so much respect for all the people there, starting with Kevin Demoff, Les Snead, their coaching staff, Sean McVay, some good friends of mine, Chris Shula, Aubrey Pleasant, just so many wonderful people at that organization that I have really close ties to. But that being said, we are showing up on Sunday with the one thing in mind, and so I'll take questions.
We're on that team and didn't have to face him in practice all the time, Stafford. What makes him, who he is?
Just when you think about all the traits that you want from an elite quarterback, intelligent, he's got a great arm, he's got the experience now, obviously, and then I think probably his strongest trait is that the guy doesn't flinch under pressure or under pressure, and so he's going to take the stand in there, he's going to take the hits, he's going to deliver the ball, and immense amount of respect for him.
He's a guy that struggled before he got the Rams, but he had a team that was more complete around him, and he did well. What's the lesson from that for quarterbacks that are struggling early?
Well, I don't know if I would say he struggled early. We played him lots of times before he got to the Rams, and he was still hell to deal with. But yeah, I just think Coach McVay does a great job. And when you just look at the offense, the balance between the run and the pass game, and marrying everything up, and everything starts off looking the same, and then it could get to a bunch of different concepts. And I just think it's a really good design by them.
Opportunity to kind of engage in this chess match with Sean. What's that going to be like? I mean, you know him well, he knows you well. Give us some insights into that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun, and but so much of what's going to happen is going to be the players on the field as well. But yeah, you're certainly right, though. I need to be on top of it schematically because he's going to be good with tendencies. As much as any head coach I've been around, he really understands the defensive side of the football. And so he knows your rules. He knows how to beat them. And so we're going to have to be on top of all of those little things. And then at the end of the day, we'll have a great week of preparation, and the guys have to go out there and execute.
You're in this situation are on the field and aren't, in this case, maybe the guys who aren't on the field this weekend, the secondary, and JC we don't know about, Draymond don't know about.
Right.
How concerning is that, especially given what Stafford's thrown 27 straight touchdown passes, interception?
Yeah. Yeah, look, this is a great offense. Regardless of who we have out there, this is going to be a hard team to defend. I just always look at the opportunity that it creates for other players if JC can't go and some of these other things. But at the end of the day, it's like there's no excuses. We got to go out there with who we have, and we'll be more than capable and ready.
When you're in this situation, do you almost you talk about that chess match? Are there almost like they try to give you false tells, like they try to bait you into something, and you have to be aware that okay, he's thinking that I'm thinking this. I mean, how much madness goes on in your mind in trying to kind of predict what he might be thinking you're thinking?
Yeah, no, there certainly is. It's funny because it's like going back and watching games back in 2022, and you're trying to just make sure you cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and you want to make sure that all your rules and game plan adjustments are sound and that the players can execute them. But at the end of the day, it's like you trust your preparation. You know that they're a very good team. They're a very good offense. They're going to make plays. But if we can continue to just play down in and down out and be sound, we'll give ourselves a chance.
Puka has kind of been the guy who's gotten them down the field. Mm-hmm. And then Adams seems to catch all the touchdown passes, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, do you key on that, knowing that maybe that's been sort of their MO this season? How can that?
Yeah, no, you can't deny that. They're both great out on the field, and then certainly they've seemed to feature Devontae more in the red zone, and so we'll certainly be aware of that. But they got a lot of weapons all over the field. Their tight ends are very good. They can run the ball very well, and so when you have all of those things working, it makes you very tough in the red zone.
You still look at their defense. I mean, they're really playing at a high level. But I know you're studying the offense a lot. But when you look at that defense and the evolution of it over the years, what do you see and why is it so good?
Yeah, I think Coach Shula does a great job of, like we try to do is just putting their players in positions where they can use their strengths to the maximum, and certainly they have done that. But it's cool that you brought up that question because it's like, we started at the same spot, and it's kind of cool to see like where our defense went, where he's taking their defense, even when Joe Barry was in Miami, where he took the defense, and so just what Brandon Staley's doing now in New Orleans, and so you can see all the little like different nuances and changes within it, while still maintaining the key components.
EJ, how do you surprise a 17-year vet?
I don't know if we're going to surprise him much. So, we'll do the best we can. But at the end of the day, this is going to be an execution game. I think we're not going to be able to just go out there and trick them. We're going to have to go out there and beat them.
Well, the fact that you might have to rely on some guys that are going to be plug-and-play guys, how will that perhaps limit you?
I don't think it would limit us. If we have certain guys that can't play because of injury, it's always our motto, the next man's up. And, I always preach to the players, like, hey, if you're not preparing to be in the game, then you're doing yourself a disservice because at any moment you could be in there and you can either put yourself in a position to go show out and create a opportunity in terms of more playing time, more money for yourself, or you go out there and not be ready and lose that opportunity and never get it again. So
Going into the game thinking you won't have JC, or?
we'll see. It's hard to tell right now, so we got to be ready for both ends of that.
Guys like Rochelle and Long who've been with you, you've got a couple of those here. Where does that show up in terms of how does that benefit? What area?
It makes the onboarding a lot easier. So they come in and I'm sure there's some subtle differences from last time we were with them, but at the end of the day, they know the key words. They know a big bulk of the playbook. They're probably going to learn the little changes that we've made over the years, but it certainly makes getting them ready on a short week a lot easier.
JC is having a career year from a ball hawking perspective. I think it's, obviously he has the size and the IQ. Is it really just a matter of him getting opportunities, or is he like really also growing as a guy who can read and react to?
I think it's both. He's certainly grown. Our first year with him was challenging just because there's so many games missed, and at that position in our defense, you really have to play a lot to kind of learn all the nuances and how we're going to feature him and all that. And so he's certainly grown into our scheme. And then I think just him being on the field, and if people want to test him, there's a good chance he's going to make a play back there. And so it was cool. He made one interception in man coverage where he just did a hell of a job on the basic, and then the other was in zone coverage, and so kind of showing both of his traits, the ability to cover man-to-man and then the zone awareness.
What was that second interception? I mean, because he was over, and Purdy never saw him, and he kind of just broke out. He saw what was going on.
No, it was great because it was something we talked about in the week. He identified the formation, the call that we were in, and putting it all together, understanding the concept that we might potentially get on the backside of that. And, that's always going to be a hard play for the quarterback to see. And so I just thought it was incredible, just awareness by him.
That Super Bowl season with the Rams, when you were there, you guys went a month without winning a game. Do you remember a trigger in that moment that you could kind of tell when something shifted?
Well, I thought, like Coach McVay always does, he did a great job of kind of keeping us focused even when things weren't going well. And we just try to stay 1 week at a time. But I would say the biggest turn in the season was actually the last regular season game of the year when we lost to the 49ers. And we had lost to them at that point 5 times in a row. We were both very good teams over the course of those years. And so we play them the last regular season game. It's for we need to win the game to guarantee we win the division. They need to win the game to get into the playoffs. And so we go up, I think, 17-zip, and we end up losing the game in a 2-minute drill at the end. And we're disappointed, and everybody's dejected. It's 6 in a row. We lost. We probably lost the division. And then we come off the field, and we find out we won the division with Arizona losing that year. And so that was a great shift for us because we actually got beat up pretty well in that game. We had a lot of injuries, and we had to go get Eric Weddle off the street to come play for us. But it's almost like we galvanized around that. The whole team did. We started playing really well on defense. Matthew did what he did down the stretch. And that was a great turning point for us.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.